Okay, so there was a question in the chat box from Yogesh that whether we can create a list environment and then store the values later on. So Yogesh, kindly come forward. Okay, so for that we can simply create, let's say LSST equals to list. So we have given it a list environment. Now we'll simply run it down. So I hope everyone is now able to run the particular line. You can use Control plus R or Control plus Enter. Fine. So now let's say if we want to store at the first, as a first list, we want to store y underscore num. Then we'll simply write down LSST and the index on the first position of that particular list. We want to store the variable ynum. So this is how you all will write it. And once done, you can simply run LSST. You can select it and press Ctrl plus R or Ctrl plus Enter, whatever the choice you have taken. So simply run it and you will see that LSST1 is 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's see, let's say I want to store LSST at position number 3, x underscore char. Now what will happen if I again run LSST? I will obtain 1, 2, 3 at my list first position, and on the third the xchar values, and at the second we haven't specified any values, so by default it has taken it as null, that there is no value assigned to the number at the position number 2. So this is how we can do it. Now there was another question asked by Bharti Singh ma'am. So just can you please come forward and clarify me what you want to ask? Bharti Singh madam. Okay. I hope she's not there. Okay, I wasn't asking. Fine. So there was something in the chat box. That's why I asked. Fine. Okay, so this is all about the basic introduction to R. Now, as we move forward, as this session is all based upon handling and visualization of data, so we'll begin with that. Now, there are certain data sets available in R by default. So, if you type down DATA data and brackets open, you will see a list of data sets: air passengers, BJ sales, BUD, CO2, chick weight, teenage, and so on. There are many. You can check that down. So let's see. I want to go with air passengers, data, air passengers, and I store, uh, let's say, LP equals to this air passengers. Now let me see what it returns to me. This is the data of air passengers from January to December for the years 1949 to 1960. So now let me check whether do we have something in help as well. So we can, in this particular box, we can go to this help and find air passengers. And once done, It gives me monthly airline passenger numbers from 1949 to 1960, and this describes my data from where it is taken and so on. So this is basically a time series data if we talk for 1949, 1950 and so on. And January, February, December, whatever month you want to check upon, let's say you want to find, just a minute.
Dr. Rashmi, sorry to interrupt. There is a question in the chat box.
Yes, data set not found. Fine. Okay. So, RK Solanki, just type data and write down air passengers. Is it with everyone else as well? Is it happening to them as well?
Yes,
How many of you are facing problem? Just raise your hands down. When Vaishnavi. Fine. Okay, fine. When you type data in R, does it showing the list, entire list? There might be some uh, writing issues as it is case sensitive. You should write the correct spelling with the correct case as well. Data, bracket open, then you will see this entire list. Is it there? No, it is not there. Okay, fine. Then write down library, data sets, and run. What it is showing to you? Vaishnavi,
it's working now.
it's working?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. RK Solanki ji, is it working? Fine. So once library data set is loaded, then you can simply type this data air passengers and store it in some variable. You can name it according to your own. So I have made it air P. So this is my data now. So there are various kinds of data available in this library of data sets. So similarly, I can go with the other datas as well. Let's say data. Let's see. We have chick weight. So in chick weight, we have this whole, just check it, 328 rows have been omitted. So 250 plus 328 rows are there in the data. And here weight, time, chick and diet is given. So we can search for the same year as well. What it is showing basically. The chick weight is there. So weight versus age of chicks on different diets. 578 rows are there and 4 columns are there. So this is chick, diet, and so on. So there are weights, and these are the times. And then chick, and then there is a diet. it levels 1 to 4. So four different diets have been given. So we can simply check this here as well. Let's say check weight. I keep all the letters in small CHWT and I store the data here. So now the CHWT is the whole data. Now this is in the form. Now let me check what is the data type. Okay, so mode here, I have it in the form of a list. So I can obtain, or it is in the form of data frame as well. So if I write down CHWT and I write down dollar, so with weight, I can retrieve these 578 values here. And similarly, CHWT dollar, if I want to find the time, I can get the values here as well. This is weight, time. If I want to find the mode of this or the data type, basically the data type of this, for that the function is mode here. So this is numeric. And if I go for diet, the data type is numeric. You can form it as in factors as there are four different diets. Write down there. Okay, now let's go with some basic plots with this particular data. Let's see, we go with air passengers. So now here I am introducing you to comments in R. So for comments in R, we use hash and analysis of air passenger data. If I run this, this is simply a statement that whatever I am will be doing in the next, I'll be analyzing the air passenger data. So this is comment. If you do not give this hash here, now this will create an error and unexpected symbol in this. So to create it in the form of a comment, you should use hash. So you can give hash this comment anywhere. Let's say uh, giving, just for your understanding, giving data type of weights, something like this. So wherever necessary or initially, I would recommend all you to use these comments so that it will help you to get through whenever you use this particular or your particular program again. You will get to know what was the purpose of that particular line, basically what it is giving to you. This is giving data type of chick weight, and now I will start with analysis of air passenger data. Now I have stored it in LP. Okay, so now let's say if I want to plot this data, January data with the, or let's say 1949 data with the months. So let's say dollar. Okay, so it is not giving me the environment of data frame. So I will convert it in the form of the data frame. So for that, rp as dot data dot frame as dot data dot frame rp. Let's see what it does give me. Okay, so it is converting. Okay, fine. So it is converting it into a single vector. So now let's do it. First of all, let's check its mode. I think it is in numeric mode. Fine, it is in numeric mode. So what we can do is we can convert it to a matrix first. As dot matrix, or we can do it rp mat air equals to matrix, and with this I'll write down rp, and the matrix will be of comma 12. Okay, now let us see whether it is doing the same manner or not. So for January or for 1949, it should be 112, 118, 132 up to 118. So what Matt here is giving to us? 115. So it has arranged January, the years in the columns, and the months in the rows. So what we can do is by row equals to true. So now it is in the same way as we were seeing RP. So matter is now a matrix. Now, so now for now we are not able to recognize what is 1 comma 1, 1 comma 2 and comma 3. So we can name them as well. So for that, or row names, I am giving it to 1960, and the last one is 1949. Let's see. Yes, that. So what we have done here, this was a matrix for 12 cross 12, and we have given its row names as 1949 to 1960. And same, so what we have done, row dot names and the name of the particular matrix, this for whatever matrix you want to give the name, and then this is equals to 1949 to 1960. Similarly, we can give column names. So call dot names is the function, and this will give you simply math air, and you can obtain it as 0 equals to, you have to have a character from January to December you can give, but right now I'll give it as 1 to 12 for the time being. It is giving me 1 to 12. So let me check. We have row names. Yes. So we have row names as well. Without dot, you can use it with dot or without dot. Like this. So now we have obtained the same data set as seen previously, and now we can use it for our own analysis. Now let's say for the first month, we want to find the data based upon the particular years. So let's say we have met air, and we want to have the first column. So column 1 data is here, right here in front of us. So for this, simply what we call a graph or a plot. So we have a function named plot here. Let's see what it gives to us. Figure margins too large. Now, since I have very little window, it was giving me an error. It won't be able to show me the plot. So now we have here the indexes, and here is the math air. So this is giving me simple scatter plot, and since I have not, I have just given it the values, it has just plotted it with 1, 2, 3 up to 12. If I want to do it with respect to the particular months, I have to give what should be there on the x-axis. So 1 to 12, and this will again give me the same value as I have given the numbers 1 to 12 to my months. Let's suppose if I give these values as, let's say I give it as a sequence. So sequence 2 to 24. And here we have another argument. In the last lecture, we have taken only 2 arguments, and the third arguments we can give that by what value the value should change. So by 2 it should change. So let's see what it gives, only the sequence part. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 with a gap of 2, it is returning me 12 different values. So if I plot it against these values, so against 2, the particular value is plotted, and so on up to 24. So this is the basic plot which is shown here. Now let's move on to what happened. Suppose we want to make a line. This is a simple scatter plot. What if we want to make a line? So there are different types available. So type in inverted commas, we can write down double inverted commas L. Let's see, that is giving us something. So yes, there is a line. So let's go to some help and find out what plot offers us. Anything else which plot offers us? So plot is in base package, and there are various arguments to be passed. So for type, we have points, which by default it plots points, then lines, then both. We can go with both as well. B. Yes, answer. You want to ask something?
কথা বলছো কেন?
Your answer. Thank you. Okay, so here it is giving the points as well as the line. Now there are some other options as well. We can go to help again. That what will be the title? So let's say air passenger. So in main, we can write down here. Let's see, air passenger is in the title here. Then what to write in the X label, what to write in the Y label. So in X label, we can write down months. In Y label, we can write down the number of air passengers. Now there is another thing which I want to mention here. You can give color. So let's say COL equals with the numbering, say 2. So it is giving me red line. Then we go with 3, is giving me green line. Then if you go with 4, it will give me blue line, and so on. So color specifications, once you specify color, it will give you the particular value. Let's see whether this works as well or not. So it is working equally well. If you write give it as a character the name of the color, it will give you the particular color. So red, green, and it is changing color here as well. So whether it is a color or not. So green 1, let's see if it is some color. Then you can go with blue as well, and so on. So this is basic plot using a plot function. Now let us just quickly change the XLab month, then the YLab number of passengers,
Dr. Rashmi, there are some questions in the chat box.
yes, when both script and running of commands are coming on the same window, how to get the script window? Okay, fine. So you can simply, just a minute, you can simply go to file and new file and then choose R script. A window will open. You are typing in R console, that is why it is happening. Is it clear? Okay, fine. Okay, Bharti Singh ma'am has asked, okay, it is showing you error when I type Jan to December. Fine, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, when we use this sequence option, this 1 to colon, it is used for numeric, right? If you give Jan to December, DEC, then each and everyone will write it in different manner. So it won't give you the particular sequence. Let's say if I write down character A to character B, sorry, character E. Let's see whether it gives us something or not. So it is not giving you anything, but if you give a particular numeric value, it will return you with the subsequent values 1, 2, 3, and so on. That is why it is not giving you anything or it is creating an error. Fine. So this is the basic plot. So we have in the XLab as month, and these are the number of passengers, and this is the air passenger data. And this air passenger data is for January. So air passenger data for, just a minute, what do we have taken up here? Yes. So it should have been the years. So 1949 to 1960. Nobody said that. I'm plotting it against. So these are not the months, these are the years. So now 1950 to 1960, these are the number of passengers, and this air passenger data is for the month of Jan. Similarly, you can go for the month of February and so on up to December. Now, what if we want to plot those data on the same plot, or those lines on the same plot? So what we can do is we can use lines command here, which will basically add on a line on this particular graph. So let's see. It is a question. Ma'am, both script and however, for putting the month name, what one should do? Fine. Okay, ma'am. I'll just answer it in some time. What do you have to do for that? Okay. Now, okay, so what we were doing is we were plotting the lines down. So here we have number 2. So here is the line for February, since second column shows the values for February month. So we can plot in the similar manner for the uh, December and so on. We can copy that down. So we can go with 4, not 4, it's 3 and 4. And we can change the type as well. Type equals to B. And the color equals to, let's say it is 2, then 3 and 4. And let's say here we put down just 1. This is the air passenger data for the month of Jan to April for the years 1949 to 1960. This is how we can form the plot, simple plot, line plot, basic line plot with points as well as the line. Now, suppose here, as we have here 12 months, either we have to type this down 12 times. So this can also be done using for loops. So as I have not mentioned it previously, I'll take it up later on at the later stage, that how to use the loop if the time remains for this session. So using for loop, you can easily do that. Okay, so this is the basic plot. Now, ma'am has asked, Bharti ma'am has asked if we want to do it for the month as well. So let's do it in that way. So plot. Right now I'm using 1 to 12 only, and math air. Now I want to plot for the year 1949 from January to December. So 12 values will be there, and I have to use the first row. So plotting, this is the value, and if I want to go with type equals to fourth. This is how it is. Now if we want to go for X labs as January, February, and March. So we can do that as well. X lab is equal to, we have to write down C, then January, February, and so on. You can type that down. Then March, then April, and so on. So for showcasing this, I'll just take the data for the first 4 months. So first 4 months from here, 1 to 4, and 4 months from here. Just a minute, what happened? The way round, we can do this as well. Okay. Oh, sorry. Sorry. This should be x-axis titles. We have to give just a minute. X lab will basically give you the label for the x-axis, and I am just done. If someone can remind them, just make sure of this. Just a minute. So, till this point, is everything clear to everyone? Plot, can they plot the air passenger data? Participants, can everyone do that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Fine. So I'm just forgetting the particular X. X-axis title. Title. We just said something. Okay, I'll come to that again. I will give you that thing. There is some to give this particular labels to this 101 1 2 3 up to 12. We can give them names as well, and this can be put in down as January, February, March, April, and so on. Right now I just got out of my mind. I'll come to that again. So this is the basic plot uh, function. So whenever you have a data, you just first start with a scatter plot. So this plot will give you the scatter plot, and then we go with the line plot. So this is the line plot. Now we have other plots as well in R, and those plots are, let's say we can go with box plots. So if we want to plot the data for the month of April, so this can be seen here. So we have this April month data for the year 1949 to 1960 as 129, and so on to 461. So here we can see these values, and this is giving this line, thick line is the median, and this is the first quartile, this is the third quartile, and these are the minimum and the maximum values. So this is how you can plot box plot for the data, and we can check upon help if it offers us something else as well. So box plot, you can always use help to clear your doubts. So here we have, again you can give x lab, y lab, and the data. Then we have uh, basically formula. Then almost everything is right down here, and we can draw box plots from the particular data. Then we have simple bar plots. For that, we do have a function named bar plot. So let's see what bar plot offers to us. So here are the bar plots, and these are the height, width, and spaces, whatever you want to go with. So these are the certain examples right down here. So let's see if we go with this, what it gives to us. So for 1949 to 1960, it gives us the values. These are the basic number of customers for the year 1949, then 1950, and so on up to 1960. So this is how bar plot works. Then let's see, do we have a pie chart here? So I think, let's see, pie. And this gives us pie chart. So let's see, does it give us something? Yes. These are the basic plots. This is the pie chart. Now some other types of graphs. Now we want to go with what we commonly use in statistics is histograms. So we do have hist function, and then a vector of values for which the histogram is desired. So let's go with hist and put down the values here. So let's go with, say, math air, let's say comma 5. So this will create a histogram for a particular data from 100 to 500 divided. Similarly, we can plot for 1 as well, for the January, for February, and so on. For any month, whatever you want to find, you can go with that as well. This is giving you your frequencies, and now you can change here that it is the number of passengers. So you can change the X lab here, number of passengers. This is how it is done, number of passengers. Now all you uh, try to use the Chikwit data, as we have used it in CHWT. And this is the Chikwit data. this is the list. Fine. So CHWT, if we go with dollar, we will find weight, right? This is the weight data. So kindly try to plot chick weight versus the time. Chick weight time versus the chick weight data. Try to plot it and let me know if you face the problem. You can type that down in the chat box. Just let me know simply, but the thing you have to do is plot chick weights versus the time. If you have plotted, just type in the chat box done. If you have plotted, just type in the chat box done. Only one person has done it, I guess. Two, three. There are 64 participants, only 3 have done it. See, this workshop is for you all only. If I keep on giving lectures, then what is the meaning? If you're facing any problem, just let me know. We can learn little, but we should learn it by heart. Okay, so the participants who have done it, let's see whether they have obtained the same graph as mine or not. Chick weight versus, I have asked you simply plot it down with time. So something like this be there, that weight versus the time plot. Those who have not plotted, they can plot it like this. So for the time 0, there are various values. Then similarly for time 1 and so on. There are various values of time and there are chick weights there. Fine. Now we can plot it other way around as well. We could have plotted chick weight time versus chick weights. So this would have been the plot. So this is simply giving that at the time 0, there are various chick weights. Then at time 1 or 2, it has some other values. Now we want to find, suppose we want to find the unique values of this chick weight time, just to understand the what it is giving to us. So for that, unique is the word. We can go for unique values and unique values of this time. So 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 up to last is 21. So these are the unique values of time for which the check weights are given. Okay. Now next is, since we have plotted down just the time versus the check weight now, and our mode for or the data type for CHWT was list. So simply plotting our data. So it gives us such type of graph. Now how to read this graph? What this graph gives us? See, here weight in diagonal we have weight, time, check and diet. So weight is here. So weight versus time. So weight is here on the y-axis and time is here on the x-axis, and this is the data plotted. Similarly, weight is on the x-axis and time on the y-axis. So here is the data for weight and time. And similarly, time and check. So this is the particular data, time and check. And then we have uh, check and diet. So here are the number of checks on the y-axis and diet on the x-axis and so on. So this gives us the whole plot of the different variables or the combination of different variables. It gives us the plot of the combination of different variables in the data. So this is how a data frame or the list will be plotted if you simply plot the whole list here. This is how it is done. If there are any queries or you want to ask anything else up to this point, just let me know, ma'am, what is the meaning of type B in plotting? Okay, so type B is for both. That is, you want to plot point as well as the line. Musha ma'am, I guess uh, you got the point. Okay, now it is showing. So what is showing plus sign? Can you please just put a screenshot or put the just select it and copy it down in the chat box? You must have missed some comma or the colon, inverted commas or the bracket somewhere. That is why it is showing a plus sign. Whenever you run a program, whenever you run a program, let's say I only, let's say I take this up and I put it down here, and let's say I forgot with this. So I got a plus sign here that something else is here to be written. So once I know that it is a bracket missing and I write down the bracket and run it, it is done. How to combine two or more variables by plotting in a single graph. Fine. Okay, so that will take up next. Anything else, Santosh sir? Is it clear now? Is plus sign problem? Fine. Okay, now next is how to combine two or more variables by plotting in a single graph. So here, what do we want to, let's say, we wanted to plot check wait time plus check wait, and we wanted to plot, let's say, check wait time so first one is here and the second one is here. So if we want to do it, there is a function name called PAR. So we'll just use the help again and we'll write PAR. To set, so this comes with the graphics library, set or query graphical parameters. So PAR can be used to set or query graphical parameters. Parameters can be set by specifying them as argument to PAR. So here we can check out an example for that. Let's see. Okay, somewhere it has too many arguments can be given in here. So let's do it by ourselves. PAR, let's see, MF row, comment, not fine, okay. So basically PAR is creating an environment for one row and two columns for the plots given in one row and two columns. So first plot is in first row and first column, and the second plot is in first row and the second column. So this is how you can do it. You can even create, let's say you want to create 2, 2 plot, and again if you run it 1, 2, and suppose I run it again. For the time being, I run it again, or I can go with, let's say, the plot for airlines I have done before. This one, and then this one. So it has plotted in 2 cross 2 matrix format. So this is how you can plot the respective plots in the desired format, whether it be in row or column. So suppose if you want to do it in one column and two rows, you can go with that as well. So this, just a minute, 2 rows and one column, sorry. This is how it will be done. And similar, by using xlab, ylab, you can change the particular labels. Pravartha ji, is it clear? Anything else you want to ask, or should I move forward? Fine. So these are the basic plotting techniques. Now, as I said that I would like to introduce you all to looping as well. Okay. So here we can just, I'll try to do it in 10 minutes so that we can move to other part as well. Suppose we want to simply, suppose we have a variable, we were having various variables here, x, y underscore num, we have already created, or we can, let's say simply again start with x equals to 1 to 19. So x takes values, 19 values. Now what I want to do is, I want to sum it one by one. I want to, or I want to see the cumulative sum of x, suppose. So for that, we do have some functions, but I'll introduce you to loops using this particular example. So what you have to do is you simply have to add 1 plus 2, then this 1 plus 2 plus 3, then 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, and so on. This will be the cumulative sum. So for that, what we can do for a loop, always try to go from inward to outside. So we'll be using for loop. So for loop, we have the function for here. So for, then variable in vector, and in this particular environment, you have to write down your um, values. So let's say I go with sum. So sum is already a function in R, so I'll write down sm and give it a vector which is null for the time being. So you can store sm1, sm2 and so on. Now for sum1 at the position number 1, what I want to store, I am for now I am just deleting it. What you want to do is for sum1 you want to find adding the only first number x1. So sm1 should take value only x1. Then what should sm2 should take? sm2 should take value x1, or I can say sm1 plus the next x value, which is 2. So my sm will take value, my sm will take value 1 and then 3. And similarly, I can go with up to 3 as well. Now, how to do it using a loop? Now, what it is doing by logic, whatever be the index here, this x is taking value up to that index and adding it up. So 1 up to x 1, when it was 2, x1 plus x2, when it will be 3, x1 plus x2 plus x3, and so on. So what we have to do here is we can simply define smi, which is equals to xi. If we do it something like this, and I takes values 1 to up to 19, what it will do, sm1 will be x1, sm2 will be x2, sm3 will be x3, and so on. So what we want to do here is sm1 by default will take always value 1 if we are using cumulative sum. If we are defining cumulative sum, so we can do it here x1. So sm will take its first value as 1 always. Now for the second value, if I is 1, so 1 plus 1, 2, it will simply add in sm I the next x value. So the next x value is x. 1 is already here, so xi plus 1. So let's see what it gives us. See, sm is x1, sm takes 1. If I write it down as 2, so sm2. Sorry, not 2, I will be 1. So sm will be 1 plus 1, 2, sm1. sm1 is x1 and plus xi plus 1. xi plus 1 is 3. what it is creating a problem. SMI. Just a minute. Okay, fine. So I'll just okay, so I'll just start with the for looping. We have given the number I. So I will take value in. I in 1 to length of x. Why so? I want to extract all the values of x and x takes values 1 to 19. So whatever be the length of your variable, I should take value up to that particular number. Fine. Okay, now SMX1 is 1. Now I want to fix the value of for the second one. Let's say if I takes my value 1, I plus 1 will be 2. So on the second position, I want to add the values. So what else we can do is simply SM plus XI. So whatever be the value of SMI, so I will take value 1 and this should return. So here let us check whether it is returning or not. So 1 and it is here it is 2 and sum I is 1 plus x1 is. Now this is adding simply first value. We wanted to add x2. So I plus 1 should be done here. 1 plus 3. So now let's see whether this program runs or not. It is a very small program. Sometimes small programs takes time. Let's see what SM gives us. So SM is 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 and this is the 20th value. Now why it is so, I'll just explain it again. So what we have done, we wanted the cumulative sum of all these x values. What we have done is, for the first value, we know that for the cumulative sum, SM will take value 1 only, the first value of the x. Then we will start from inward. If we want to find the SM value 2, then this will be obtained by adding x1 plus x2. So this x1 is SM1. Why I am using it SM1? Because it is the cumulative sum till the first observation of x plus the next observation, which is xi plus 1. So x2 basically when I is 1. So in this term, it will keep on running and it will keep on storing values at different positions of SM, SM1, SM2 up to SM. Last value of I will be length of x. And length of x, here we can see it is 19. So this will take value I up to 19 and 19 up to here. This is 19 plus 1, that is 20. So since for 20 there is no x is not available at the 20th position, that is why it is giving this 20th position is L as NA. So am I clear? This is a very basic for programming, for loop. Very basic for loop. This is the condition basically for loop, where you have given the variable I. You could have, it is not necessary to take I only. You can take it as h plus 1 wherever I is there, you can replace it and simply again if you run it, you will obtain the same result. Or suppose if you want to change it to, let's say, k, you can simply do that h is equals to k, and this will run equally well. So if you run sm, this will give you this. Ma'am, the commands are not running in console. Can you tell me once how to copy data? Lakshmi ma'am, what you want to ask?
Madam, that as you copied the data, na madam, first stick weight data, how to copy, I couldn't get it, madam. That's all.
Okay, in R only, right?
Yes, madam.
Okay, fine, fine, fine. So to copy that data, you just simply select the data, press Ctrl C. It is copied. Now you want to paste it, press Ctrl V. Is it clear, ma'am?
From the starting, when you copied from the data, I could that tab you open, madam.
Data from where?
When you started your this is after break, you started, no, madam. That you copied the data. That too, I couldn't get it.
Ma'am, I didn't copied any data, I guess. Which data? I started with lists here. And then data. This data is not copied, ma'am. I have just called this data particularly.
Okay, madam. But the below tab it is coming, no, madam. Some data is coming in the below data tab, but for me it is not coming. That data air passengers you typed. Some data coming, no, madam, for you. That so many rows are coming. For me it is not coming anything.
This you are saying, right?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
So just simply you type the name of this particular data air passengers, and you will obtain this list.
Okay, madam.
Okay. And if it is still not there, if it is creating any error, then you can simply go with this option, library data sets. This is basically dataset is a package. Datasets is a package. You can call that library using library, and then you can use these data sets available in this particular package. So that is how we have used it.
Okay, madam.
Anything else? Want to ask? Santosh, you want to ask something? Ma'am, the commands in the script are not running in console. You can press Ctrl R or you can press Ctrl Enter. I guess you haven't changed it. It will be Ctrl plus Enter for you if you are using R Studio. Okay, yes, I can explain it. Okay, fine. So what is in for loop? For loop in any language, this will run for a particular condition. So up to that particular condition is true, it will keep on running. So up till the point k, the value of k is in 1 to length of x, it will keep on running. So let's say we have the value 1. So we have used here just we have some function as well. So we have basically recreated this function using this for loop. So what we have done is we wanted to sum the particular values of x one by one and keep on adding them until we get the last value added with all the remaining ones. So x1 sm x1 is there. For the first point we have to declare this thing. If we do not declare this, let's see what happens here is again. Let's say, just a minute. I'll just copy it down again. And suppose I write down KM. Some KM is here. And I run it. So object KM not found, and I'm trying to store values in KM. So unless and until we do not declare the particular variable used to store the values, this for loop will not work. So what you have to do is you have to store the value in KM first. So first value is 1, and it is not necessary to write this program in this manner only. You can, there are other methods as well to write the same program using for loop. So I have used this method. So you have declared the variable whose first value is x1, and then you can go further. So Kartika Rajesh, is it clear? For loop? Okay, fine. Okay, now since we are 7 minutes remaining, and as you do not have any issues remaining, so we can check that how to write this particular data in Excel, how to take this particular data in Excel. Suppose we want to take this data in Excel for our calculations or anything else, how to take or how to export this data to Excel, simply to say. So you can write the function. There is write dot table. There is a function write dot table, and write dot table, we can go to help and search for it. Write dot table is here, and we can simply take values x and it will be written right down there. Let's see whether it is there or not. So write dot table and chwt. Now what it has done, just a minute. Okay, a file, in what file you have to write it, you have to give the name. So let's call it chkwt, chkwt dot csv. So now how to check, as I have mentioned it earlier, that it is saving all my documents in document folder. Let me check whether it is somewhere here or okay, not here. Not here as well. Fine. So here is my file, and if I open it in Excel, you will see your data something like this, that the whole data is written in one column. Now how to set these in various columns? So there is another, you can use the same as well. You can use write.csv. CSV, comma, separated values. and then I'll name it with 1, and I'll check whether it is there in my documents as or not. Let's see. Now it is giving me weight, time, chick, diet, and this whole data is in Excel now. So you can use, if you want to write it in CSV, you can readily use write.csv in place of write.table. There are other things as well. You can use separate equals to by comma. So this will be done. Don't save. Let's say number 2, what it is giving me. This is how it is done. It is again writing the same thing, but what it has done, this 1, 2, 3, which was simply serial numbers, it has given it weight. You can simply shift it, or you can use write.csv. Now, similarly, if we want to read the file as well, let's say we want to read this CSV file. So it is saved in a directory. So you can reuse read.csv and the name of the file, and this file is wait. Okay, double inverted commas extra. So now R has picked up this data from the Excel sheet. So you can read your data from Excel as well. You can write your data in Excel as well. There are other formats as well for CSV, for text. If you want to write it to text files or XLSX, there are various packages that can be used. But in this class, I think that's all from my side. If you want to ask anything else, you can go and ask. Yes, Satyabhama.
Is it not necessary to mention the path?
Yes, ma'am. Actual in here I don't have to mention the path as it was in the working directory for me. So for getting that, you can simply type get WD, and this will give you the working directory where your files will be stored if you write them. And if you copy your Excel files there or your data files there, you can readily read them as well without mentioning the path. But if you want to mention the path, you can mention the path here.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. And if you want to, here I would like to add on, if you want to change this directory, then you can use set WD, and in double quotes, you can write down the path wherever you want to store that. Let's suppose in D drive in with your name, some name. There you can make your own folders, and that will be the working directory for the R.